This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. It is June 27, 2024. And since I can't finish watching the debate because it is absolutely sucks so bad, I'm going to make a video about it before it's even over. All right? All I know is the Democrats are under the Nazi Goebbels plan of propaganda. Keep repeating the lie and people will eventually believe it. Anyway, whatever, okay? Few quick observations. JoJo was definitely drugged up. No doubt about it, okay? I mean, he was tweaking like he was, he's just like he was tweaking, okay? And I'd say he definitely had an earpiece in. Just watching how you're kind of looking off, away from stuff, and it's not like he's lost, but he's listening to something. He's got an earpiece in, okay? And one thing he did do, he was stumbling, okay? There's a couple times he was stumbling in the time I watched. And what was there? Jake Tapper and CNN to sit there and save his ass by basically your time is up. When he started going off, he didn't even know what he was talking about, okay? American people can't see that. They're lost, okay? But he was definitely drugged up, definitely had an earpiece in, okay? And if that's the man you want for president, that's fine. But anyway, let's talk about what I watched of the debates so far. A couple of them. Jake Tapper saved his ass. I just, there was a point where I thought, and it's not over yet, but I think JoJo's about to go into a medical emergency. There's some times where he looked like he was just about to, who knows, maybe he'll have a medical emergency before I'm even done taping this video. But anyway, whatever. But let's talk about the debate again. No audience. I love that. You know why you couldn't have an audience, CNN? Because the last thing you wanted is JoJo booed or heckled and Trump applauded. Okay, that's why you couldn't have an audience. And the last thing you want is witnesses to see. Because remember, everything seeing Joe on stage is a cheap fake. So they didn't want actual people see with their eyeballs the cheap fakes that are going to be on the shorts tomorrow. Okay, but like I say, he's confused. He's lost. But this debate, what I heard of it, I really didn't hear nothing about the American people, freedom. Okay, they're discussing inflation, and Democrats going with the same line, and Trump's trying to defend the truth. Same with immigration. They're towing their same old line. Trump's trying to defend the truth. With the wars, same old thing. Biden's towing the Democrat line. Trump's trying to defend the truth. I can't imagine anybody that can believe this stuff. Okay? But let's bring up a few things that I think, okay? They talk about government spending, how Trump spent money like a drunken sailor. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. In the last 3 presidencies, they spent money like drunken sailors, okay? But, and then they're talking about his 10% tariff, which I think is great. Get rid of the income tax, okay? But, another thing we need to do is stop spending money we don't have. They never brought up spending cuts. Nope. We're not going to spend. We're just going to bring in more money to pay off the debt, okay? Nothing about spending cuts, all right? And then, you want to get rid of the IRS too, a federal sales tax. 10% federal sales tax. That means if you have a lot of money and your wife likes to spend a lot of money, you're going to be paying a lot of taxes. And if you're some guy like me, who really don't spend nothing because my living expenses are so low in the hundreds of dollars every month, I wouldn't be paying crap for taxes. Boy, what a fair tax. But until they curve in spending, it doesn't matter how much taxes they get in. If they keep spending 10, 20% more than they bring in every year, it ain't going to matter. what they increase the tariffs to or whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay? Okay. And then I'm so sick of hearing about abortion. There's nothing in the Constitution about abortion. The word abortion is not in the Constitution. That means the Constitution does not cover abortion, and it is up to the 10th Amendment, up to the states to determine about abortion. Okay? That's just another thing where they're trying to push, using laws to push their beliefs. Go to us if you want to use abortion for birth control, go to a state that allows you to do that. There's some states that have strong moral values that don't believe in that. And they have a right to, as a state, to have those laws. Okay? And don't need Papa federal government coming in and telling them how to run their state. All you blue states want the federal government to be your papa, that's fine. Us red states don't need to be babysat by a bunch of Democrats. Okay, and then they brought up the Supreme Court. You know, Trump was talking about the border and how he brought three justices on there that are conservative to help with the whatever. Yeah, they helped real good when it came to that decision yesterday about the government being able to pressure social media companies to shut people like me up. But don't worry, I'm glad you got conservative judges. But I tell you what, as a Supreme Court judge or any judge, you're not allowed to have personal bias on the bench. You are there to interpret the Constitution and rule accordingly. And talk about conservative judges and liberal judges. How can somebody look at the Constitution and see it two different ways? It's in too plain English, like shall not be infringed, is easily understood, at least to a simple man like me. I guess if I don't have a college education where they warp my mind enough to not understand it. Okay, that must be it. Okay. No political bias on the Supreme Court. It's about the Constitution, and the Constitution is about protecting the people from the government. They went on about border security. You know, JoJo's same old spiel. It's all great. Da 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 da. You know what? These countries' laws say no illegals a day. Not we'll allow 4,000 in or no, none. Zippo, zilch, zip. That many goose egg are allowed in a day. I don't hear them, none of them saying that. And it doesn't matter who takes office in January. It's still going to be the same. Okay? Like I say, machine gun nests every 100 yards are problem solved in 10 minutes. Way more cheaper than a border fence. And, bring our boys home from across all over the world to protect our borders, okay? Okay, and then JoJo's saying no terrorists or criminals are coming over the border. There's no data to support that. So all these military-aged men coming over with no families, no kids or nothing, those videos are cheap fakes. Even the ones where they're saying we're being let in and they know there's terrorists coming in from the immigrant or the illegals coming over. That's cheap fakes, okay? They can cover everything. They can cover the truth with all these lies. Okay, what's another one? Okay, and then the trial thing. Okay, Biden goes on about how Trump is being held accountable now for his illegal actions, his law-breaking nightlife, stuff. Well, JoJo, don't you realize that you'd be in the same boat? You'd be a convicted felon too, but you're not competent to stand trial. Just like you showed on stage there when you start losing it. And Jake Tapper saved your ass. But don't worry, Jake Tapper, I'm sure there's no bias. He started that shit. Jake Tapper saved his ass. Okay? Don't worry, CNN. I know there's no bias. You know what I get from all this? That there are staunch Biden supporters that believe all that garbage. Until it comes up on their front door, until illegal immigrants kills somebody they love, they're going to think what the policy is great. Okay? Until they're living in a cardboard box, they're going to think the financial system's just fine. Until their children are being killed in war, they're going to think it's great supporting the war. And another thing he told about the Ukraine war, which is, I had to have heard this wrong because if it's not, it's a complete lie. We haven't given them Ukraine any money. We just given them weapons, $200 billion in weapons. Really? Then who's supporting your pensions and stuff like that? Bullshit. What a pack of lies. Pack of freaking lies. Gaslighting. Prepare for civil unrest. That's what is coming in November. Civil unrest. And the authorities aren't going to be there to save you. If you think calling 911 is going to save your butt, it ain't going to happen. If you disagree with the Second Amendment, that's fine. You still better get yourself a gun so you can protect your ass. So you can still live long enough to disagree with the Second Amendment. The fight's coming. Okay? Trump was a coherent man. Biden losing his mind constantly. Trump's just staring ahead. Staring at the people and staring to the people through the camera. Biden's constantly looking over at Trump, looking over at Trump, looking over at Trump. Who do you look at? You look at people you fear all the time. Okay? Now, I'm not saying Trump fears the American people. He's talking to the American people. But Biden was just constantly looking over there. Like, you know, I don't know. Like he had to, whatever. Trump was cleaning his clock. But still, the bickering back and forth. We are divided just as much as we were in 1860, if not worse, because there's a lot more issues that as conservatives aren't going to deal with. And this lying, you know, I always say, what's worse, the person who says a lie or the person who believes it? Well, the person who believes this lie is really going to have a hard life. You live in a life of lies. There's no way you're going to find happiness. To find happiness, you need to know the truth. Okay? But prepare for the war. That's what's coming. Okay? The Democrats just aren't going to give up. And they're not going to give up the White House. So eventually it's going to go to a high velocity exchange of ideas. That's what us vets need to prepare for. And all of you that got AR-15s, you better be willing and able to use it. Okay? I don't want to have a squad of people where, well, I don't know if I can do that. Okay? The fight's coming. Sides are being chose. Okay? The Democrats have no idea what this country is based on. He wants to sit there and say he's trying to save world peace by funding the war in Ukraine. How about we just let Russia take over Ukraine and then the war's over? And then we don't have to do anything. The thing all we got to do is hope that we get our money back. If you think by supporting the war is helping world peace, that's an oxymoron. Okay? A moron like they are. You know, like Trump's got my vote 100%. They're going to have to put the steel on big. And it doesn't matter. They can steal it all they want. That just gives us more authority to institute what the Founding Fathers told us to do in the Declaration of Independence. And the Democrats are not going to stop until we give them 1776. Anyway, this is Lone Wolf Prepper. Out.